Good morning.
Good morning.
There's a story of a Bzush of Anipoli, a Hasidic, humble Hasidic holy Jew, a couple hundred years ago, and maybe 300 years ago. He would go to the mikvah. I believe it was him. He would go to the mikvah, and he'd have to go down like a very slippery, muddy, rocky terrain to get there. And somebody asked him, I believe it was Zerb it was him or somebody of similar. How do you do it? How do you go down this slippery slope and not fall? Okay. Rachel, you mentioned that you almost fell and you cut yourself. So he says when you're connected up above, you don't fall below.
Wow.
So that's what I'm thinking of you. You're saying maybe you'll never fall anymore. So, and you remembered Hashem at that moment, that Hashem was holding you, and that's what happened. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a trick to stay. It didn't just happen to you. It happened before you preceded you with the Zusha, I believe it was.
Good company.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, doesn't mean we should put ourselves deliberately in harm's way, but if you catch yourself unexpectedly about to slip, it's good to remember Hashem's holding you. Okay, thank you for the tip. Okay, welcome. Somebody else joined us. I can't really see who it is. It's Sylvia.
Yeah, Sylvia Ruth.
Sylvia Ruth.
From Florida.
Welcome. Welcome.
Hi,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, and thank you for joining pretty early. Okay, so we're learning a very special sikha, Bahar Bechukosai, and it's all about the relationship between Torah and the world, and how Hashem formulated the Torah and the world to correlate, coincide, parallel with each other. And there's different aspects of Hashem revealing himself in the Torah and in the world which parallel each other. Meaning the Torah was given to us to bring peace into the world. It says, Lasat Shalom Ba'olam. So the Torah was given with 10 commandments rather than just one, right? Hashem could have given us one main commandment, but Hashem broke it down because there's something in the breaking down, in the division of having many, multiple, which parallels to Hashem creating the world also in a way with multiplicity. Meaning Hashem could also have created the world differently with one utterance. He could have just said, let there be a world, and everything would have been included in it. But instead, Hashem said, let there be a light, and let there be a firmament, and let there be vegetation, let there be animals, and let there be people, right? So each mimer during the 6 days of creation created multiplicity. Now in Chassidus, it goes even deeper to say how Hashem created the letters, the Hebrew letters, and each of the Hebrew letters are, when they are combined with other Hebrew letters, then they create, each letter has its own life force, its chayos, its energy. And so when they're combined together, they create different forms of beings. So like Adam, let's say in Hebrew is Aleph, Dalet, Mem. And so those letters of Adam are what are giving life force to the human, Behema or Chaya or whatever it is. And then each type of animal, each has a different name to it. And each one gets a different type of life force or energy depending on its name. Okay, that's why, by the way, names are very important in Yiddishkeit. Hebrew letters are very important in Yiddishkeit, what we say, how we express. But in any event, Hashem created the world with a lot of letters and a lot of combinations of letters, right? In Sefer Yetzirah, it talks about it, 31 pathways, which is 22 times 21, 22 letters of the alphabet, each multiplied by each other makes 231 gateways, and each one creates myriads of different types of combinations of letters. And then you can even do with the gematria, and you could do with atbash, which is another way of transporting letters, transmuting letters. So you can have millions and millions and millions and millions of types of creations in this world with different types of energy flow, depending on these creations. So the question is why? Why did Hashem create the world with so much multiplicity and so much detail and so many things? And also, why did Hashem also parallel the Torah to that? And so on the surface of it, we read yesterday from what the rabbis say, is to be able to give reward and punishment. So if because there's a lot of a lot of utterances with which Hashem created the world, you could say that the rabbis say there's more place for reward and punishment, right? There's like more going on. The Rebbe goes deeper and he explains that there's two ways of Hashem bringing energy into creation, and that's also enhanced and revealed through the Torah. So that's why the Torah also has one mimer, the mimer of Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I'm Hashem your God. It's an awareness of Hashem on a very high level, but it's not Hashem as he's in every little detail. It's awareness of Hashem as he is above and beyond the world. And then there's awareness of Hashem that we get through Torah by seeing the benefit and the aspect and the details of every little bit of creation. Okay, so Hashem wants us, yes, to be attached in a general way of having emunah and trust on a very like detached way, so to speak, and being connected to Hashem on high, in a very high way, but also Hashem wants us to be connected to Him in the world, with our bank account, with our lots of things going on in the kitchen and in the house, with lots of connections to lots of people on many different levels, with lots of clothes and things, lots of Zooms and lots of people joining the Zoom, okay? All this with the different types of cameras and everything that goes into the world, every little detail is part of Hashem's creation. Now, so there's an advantage to Hashem being revealed in every little detail. Okay, so we're gonna see more about this in today's talk, and we're B'Habechul Kosai on 6, and that's also part of my husband's here. The letters of the Torah. You see, I took a picture of his writing the Sefer Torah. So there's so many letters. It's absolutely, it's mind-boggling to think that one human being can write so many letters in one, in one entity, in one Torah. This is, I think, his 4th Torah. Anyways, yeah, it's the 4th Torah. Fourth Torah that he's writing. So it's unbelievable how many hundreds of thousands of letters he's written. In any event, so each letter though has a certain energy, a certain flow, a certain koyach and chayas. Here, if you look in footnote 43, the Rebbe is quoting from Yehudit Wolffe chapter 1, which is the second part of Tanya about how the world was created, and it says. In chapter 12 over there, it says, every letter draws down an energy, a chayas, a life force, and koach and power specifically for that letter. Each letter has a different shape, a little different form. Right? And it's very important what form it's at, right? It can make the Sefer Torah, God forbid, not work if the letter is not written properly, or the tefillin, or okay, each one has to be exactly embodying the life force that's coming through it, through the shape that it has. The mezuzah, everything, the tefillin, all very dependent on the shape of the letter. And that shape of that letter reveals the power, the energy that's revealed through that letter. Now, with the letters that created the world, every part of creation is created and alive and existing from a combination of a few letters that, from the 10 utterances with which Hashem created the world, like let there be light, those letters are transmuted and transformed to create different letters, different words, not different letters, different words, combinations, and that creates different entities in the world. So that's it from Yehudit Wolffe. And I guess if you want to explain to somebody why it's so important that the letters be beautiful and perfect and correct, is because they are channeling that energy, that chayus and koyach, that life force, light and energy from the spiritual realms to this physical letter and this physical mezuzah or tefillin or sefer Torah. And that energy is being drawn into the world, just like everything in creation is drawn, has its name and has its letters that are drawing energy into it, its life force and its energy. And so we want it to be whole and pure and correct. We don't want it to be blemished. God forbid. We want, right, direct, full, whole energy that's proper. Okay, that's how Hashem created the world. How was it created? It was created nothing from something, but he used the letters to channel the energy and the life force into each thing. Okay, so the world could have been created with one, utterance, and not, Hashem said 10. And that creates a lot of multiplicity, which is what Hashem wants, which reveals Hashem in many, many, many details. Okay, so then footnote 45 also says, he's quoting also, I believe, from Gersa Kodesh, from Tanya, chapter 20, the letters in Tanya, of where he discusses the creation of the world. And it says, Hashem's existence doesn't come from any previous creation or existence. Hashem's existence is from himself. There's no cause and effect for Hashem, God forbid. That's why only Hashem has the power and ability to create something from nothing, from absolute nothingness. Okay, so that's from Tanya chapter 20. So these are two footnotes that we didn't go into yesterday, but they are important background to this idea that Hashem created the world not with just one mimer, but with 10 mimers, 10 utterances, 10 statements, that even though Hashem could have created the world more simply, but Hashem created it with lots and lots and lots of details. And that's the goal, is to reveal Hashem in all these details. Okay? All the details of the world are important. Now, like we said, now we're paragraph 6. Do you remember where we ended yesterday? We started.
I think we finished 4.
We finished 4? I think
that's what I think. That's what I have.
I remember going up to page in paragraph 6. Anyway, I'm gonna.
Okay, I didn't get that.
I won't read every word. I'm gonna go through it. This idea of that Hashem created the world with, could have created it more simply, created it more complicated. That's my little translation. That doesn't say that word, but with a lot of details to it, is parallel to. Okay, I don't think we read this. They're parallel to also in the Torah. This idea of that there's. Also there was one other footnote that I just read this morning before we started class. That the fact that Hashem could have created the world with one mimer, with one statement. In the Chassidus, it says there is an aspect of the world being created with one statement. This is footnote 40. When it says the world could have been created with one statement, means that there is an aspect of the world that was created with one statement. So there's that I guess it's brought in a footnote because it's not. It's something to look more deeply into. But the point is like this: there's an aspect in Torah also that has more general, and then there's an aspect of Torah that's more detailed. So it says, and he brings here from how do we see this in Torah? It says, and this is footnote in Tehillim in Psalms, and the Rebbe talks about it in Sefer Sichos 1991, part 1, page 302. He discusses this idea. It says, Hashem said one statement, but I heard 2. What does this mean? Okay, this is from Tehillim, and it's explained. I was explaining it that in the Torah there's 2 aspects. There's one achas. Hashem spoke one, said created with one mimer, one statement. Mitzidoit, from Hashem's perspective, Hashem spoke with one statement. Just like Hashem is one. His wisdom is just one entity. For Hashem, everything is one. Okay, from Hashem's perspective, it's all the same, it's all one. It's Hashem's chachma is one. Meaning everything in Torah, Hashem sees the unifying oneness in it. Right? We know that Einstein tried very, very, very hard to put all the laws into one unifying aspect of force of creation in the world. He would try to all the energies to put them back into one statement or one equation. He tried to find the unifying force and prove it mathematically that there's one force. Meaning Einstein knew this also, that it's all from Echad, but he wanted to prove it mathematically. He wasn't able to do it. But from Hashem's perspective, it's very easy, very simple. Everything is really all one. It's all Hashem. And it's all Hashem's wisdom. Chachma, Torah is His wisdom. All right, look at the Shbichu Kol, just like Torah and Hashem is one. So for Hashem, it's all one. You could see the oneness, the unifying force in creation is all one. Shtaim, though, the 10 commandments, which are divided, this 10 statements, which Hashem and which parallel to the 10 commandments, this idea of two, multiplicity. Shtayim zushamati, I heard two, meaning mitzad adam, we hear. Okay, when Hashem is one, but we hear two. So the world and this and man, Shamati hears and sees multiplicity. Hashem's wisdom comes down and it encloses itself in the human beings, in Yanei Adam, his details of his life and the world, with all its little details, every little number in the bank account, every little ingredient and spice that you put into the food. Okay, all these little things, Hashem is in it. Shehem b'ofen shel ibui tchalkut. There are many divided up. And it's like we have the 10 Commandments, shekololim Torah mitzvot, that include in them the 613 commandments. Okay, the 10 commandments, which are called Aseret Hadibot. They're called 10 statements, not necessarily commandments, but they include the 613 mitzvahs. And that parallels the 248 limbs, 365 sinews that in man have. We're called a small world, olam katan, and this is parallel to the world itself. Why do we have all these little details of Torah commands in many 613? Is in order, the Rebbe says, lif'ol to affect and to activate and to make action, lif'ol, sha'amala, that the advantage, the chashivut, and the importance, shebepirtei, that in the details of the things, sheba'olam, that are in the world, tenutzal, will be utilized, the tiyal pir Torah, will be used according to Torah. So Hashem gives us a huge amount of mitzvahs, so that everything in the world could be used for a mitzvah. Okay, everything permitted in the world. I was trying to explain yesterday how one of my goals is not just to educate people what's kosher, not kosher, let's say with tefillah, mezuzah, and sefer Torah, but to also educate people why and what makes a letters and or tefillah, mezuzah. There's more than just the letters. What makes it more mehudar, or more beautiful? Or I say that beautiful is not necessarily going to explain what I'm trying to say. So I said more valuable, but valuable also. What does it mean valuable? So I said more sacred. I was trying to find the right word. I was thinking of Yucha Baruch. So more sacred is really, but what's sacred, meaning when we pay attention to the little nuances and the details of the laws of everything, including the Sefer Torah Mezuzahs, which I was trying to explain, it makes it more beautiful, more mehudar. So it makes it more sacred, more valuable spiritually, and more effective, because it draws down. The more we go into the details and we see Hashem, what's important to Hashem in each detail, we're drawing more godly awareness into the multiplicity of the details. So we're seeing Hashem in every little nuance, so every little tag of every little letter, and every little kvetch, every little line in it is revealing Hashem. Okay, so that's this idea of like utilizing everything in the world to be according to Torah, and that's revealing Hashem in every little detail. Therefore, so therefore it says, through the one mimer, the one statement, then in the Torah, like Hashem could have said the 10 commandments in one statement, through this one statement of Hashem, which according to Chassidus, there is this idea of one statement, that Hashem does create the world with one statement, and there is one statement of the 10 commandments, which is the revealing Hashem as one in the world. That is, we could reveal Hashem as generally as one, the unifying oneness of Hashem in the world. And then there's also to look at the world through the lens of the 10 commandments, the details of the 613 mitzvahs, which parallel the 10 statements which Hashem created the world, which created a lot of multiplicity of details. So now he's explaining. Through the one commandment, the one statement of Torah, שמודגש בלימוד התורה בהקדמה ברכו בתורה תחילה, שזהו עניין הביטול לנותן התורה, היינו שניכר בתורה לא כל כך ההתחלקות בפרטי ההלכות שמדברים בענייני העולם, אלא נקודת האחדות, שהיא חוכמתו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, אחת דיבר אלוקים, מגלים בעולם במאמר אחד, היינו שניכר בעולם לא ההתחלקות בפרטי הנביאים לפי משגב ותכונתם, אלא כל החתמות שבהיבט העולמיים יש. When we're learning Torah or we're keeping Torah on this level of one mimer of the Torah, meaning we're emphasizing this idea of bittul, that everything is just Hashem, okay? We're not looking so much at the details. We're focusing that this is Hashem's wisdom. This is what Hashem spoke one thing. We're revealing this oneness of Hashem. We're revealing that Hashem is one, and there's this power of Hashem's essence that's creating everything from nothing to something. So we could be focused sometimes on just, wow, I'm being created now from nothing to something. Everything around me is being created nothing to something. That's focusing on Hashem's oneness in the world. That's the level of achas, of oneness of Hashem. Achas diber Elokim. Now then there's the level of the 10 commandments, which reveals the 613 laws, which reveals many divisions and details, and we're focused more on the details and how the laws of Torah apply to the little details of the world in Olam. Then we're focused more on that every little detail that I'm doing right now is for the sake of serving Hashem. I'm utilizing everything in the world. I see a funny car, and I use it to make some sort of bring some joy to somebody by taking a picture of something fun. You know, like I'm using like all the craziness of details of this world to bring awareness and joy or a connection somehow to Hashem. But it's not necessarily at that second realizing Hashem is giving life force to me and to this thing from nothing to something. I'm dealing with the detail of how to utilize it. This detail that's manifesting in something very detail-oriented, revealing Hashem at this moment in this detail. So this we could do by focusing on knowing Hashem in all our ways. And we reveal that Hashem created the world with these 10 statements, meaning we reveal in the world, and it's apparent that there's an advantage to the world. There's something important about the world. There's an advantage in there being this multiplicity in the world. Hashem created the world with lots and lots and lots of details that are parallel to the 10 spheros, which is the wholeness of holiness as it's revealed in this world in all its details. And in another way of saying it, when we're focusing on how Hashem created the world with one maimer, which Hashem is creating us from nothing to something, then we're focused on the bittul of the world. The world is mamish, like mitzad atzmo. If it wasn't on its own, if it didn't have Hashem creating it this moment from nothing to something, it would be nothing. So that's one meditation where we can just think, I would be nothing. I wouldn't exist if Hashem wasn't giving me life force. So that's focusing on Hashem as one. If Hashem wasn't creating me at this moment from nothing to something, I wouldn't be here. So that's our bittul, that's focusing Hashem as one. And then that's looking from Hashem's perspective. And then there's this other way from below to above, Metziut lebitul metziut, from existence to bittul of our existence, and that's hala milamata mala. Now that's right, seeing that we're bittul, that we're not existent unless Hashem is giving us this life force. When we look at the world from this perspective that the 10 statements or 10 commandments, that there's an existence to the world that should be permeated with wholeness of Hashem created a world of multiplicity that should be filled with holiness, which is to draw down from above to below Hashem's life force into all the little different things in this world. Okay, so the Mama Machad, one statement Hashem created the world would be me recognizing Hashem is giving me life force. If I didn't have this Hashem creating me now, I'd be nothing. So it's like an elevation of us. It's an awareness of, I guess the two could be interimposed. But he's saying that the first level, Ma'amar Echad, is an elevation from below to above. We're elevating ourselves to the awareness of godliness awareness. And the other, seeing that Hashem is creating the world and we're supposed to draw Hashem into the details, that's drawing Hashem from above down into this world. It's kind of schlepping Hashem into the world, meaning, like you said, we saw Hashem at that moment that you're about to fall and you realize Hashem is there. Okay, so that's drawing down Hashem awareness into your consciousness, into the details of this world. Okay. So now there's two aspects. There's an advantage in the above to below, and there's an advantage of below to above. When we reveal Hashem through the 10 statements that are enclosed in the details of the world, in a way of division, right? Every little detail in the world has its own attributes, its own way of being, its own unique capacity. And it's Hashem is revealed in different definitions, different limitations of the different, right, permutations of the world and different aspects of the world. Hashem is revealed differently in different parts of the world, different details of the world. The revelation of the godliness in the details is only a level of godliness that is connected and has a connection and has a correlation between God and the world. There's a correlation, there's a limitation to it of how much is revealed in each detail. So we're not at that moment focused on Hashem beyond the world. That's above the world. That's way, way, way beyond the limitations of the details of the world. When we reveal that Hashem is one, that Hashem is like this level of Hashem above the world, above dealing with the divisions and the details of the world, and we reveal godliness as Hashem is above and beyond the world. But this revelation doesn't permeate the details of the world. Because we're not seeing the advantage of the details from each little detail, how amazing the little detail of each thing is. On the first level of Hashem is one, we're just focusing that they're nothing, that everything is nothing. It's just all Hashem, right? So we're not paying attention to the Hashem, how He is expressed and revealed in all the details. What's going to be the highest revelation and wholeness is going to be when we have both consciousnesses at the same time. Don't ask me how, but in times of Mashiach, we'll be able to have both awarenesses simultaneously. That this level of godliness of Hashem is one, and it's only one, and nothing else really exists on its own, will be revealed and in the details of the creations that are created with the 10 statements. Through Hashem's revelation, Hashem beyond the world, within the world, that will be the fulfillment of Hashem's desire to be revealed within this world in a way of dira, dwelling. Hashem is dwelling with all His essence. The person lives in his home with his whole essence. Meaning Hashem will reveal in this world not just a limited amount of a life force of godliness in the world that dependent on how much our capacity is according to the details of the creations. No. Hashem is going to reveal this miraculous level, this high level of beyond the world that doesn't make sense, but it will be clear and we'll be seeing it. And we'll be like, wow. Right? Until we'll even have this revelation of Hashem's essence. Hashem is really one unique oneness that's simple, right? We'll be able to prove mathematically that Hashem is one. There's one unified force. Hashem's dwelling place will be in the lower world. We'll see this revelation of Hashem's essence drawing down in their existence and the way we exist of the lower creations, as we are in the world that's divided and working in the multiplicity of the details, so many details, everyone having its own aspects, its own unique talents, its own unique abilities, as it was created with the 10 statements of Hashem of the world. So let me just take a breather. Anybody want to ask or say something? You're welcome to. Welcome, Avia. You joined.
Okay. So I have Einstein's formula. 1 equals everything squared.
wouldn't be surprised if if the formula would come to include this idea of the 22 letters times 21. 22
Mm-hmm.
for the 22 letters times by each other, which includes the multiplicity, which Kabbalah says is the 231 gates for which the world was created.
Yeah.
And 0 to any power is 0, just as 1 to any power is 1.
So what are you saying?
So 0 represents before creation, and 1 represents creation.
So go on. What else? What are you trying to say?
So every time I see a 0 or 1, I think about God as Hashem. Before it was Hashem, because Hashem is a created name. So the all that was before anything separate from the all. Every time I see a 0, that's when I tune into that energy. And every time I see a 1, I see Yud K Love K, coming into oneness that created the world, that God created the world through.
Wow.
Karen, I think there's something about numbers, like in COBOL or Fortran or banking or something like that, where everything is zeros and ones.
That's correct. And in Fortran, everything
Fortran, right.
is made in how many zeros and ones in the order of them that they create everything through because of that understanding. Because everything is made from 0 and 1s.
Yes.
Multiplicity is that jump from infinity to finite.
Well, in Fortran, for instance, when you code in Fortran and you use all zeros and ones, you can make everything. And it's really hard to find a mistake in it, because how do you know where that mistake is? Like if you made a mistake and the outcome wasn't what you thought, then where's the mistake?
0 and 1 needs to be changed, right?
Yes, exactly.
And there's so many of them, you can't find it.
Right.
You're saying that jump from infinity to finite.
Correct.
You jump between 0 and 1s, and you can't really find a mistake in that, because it's not a logical progression. It's a leap of infinity into finitude. Is not something you can measure.
So it all makes 1. I mean, it's all combined. If you combine 0 and that's a total combination of 0 and 1.
Oh, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to combine the Hashem Echad into the finitude of creation. That's what we're trying to do.
Right. And so every time I see a 0 or 1, I think about that.
Nice.
That's cool.
It is.
Well, here's a 0 and 1 that makes 10 also. 0, 1, 10. 1, 0.
Beautiful.
The base 10, count in base 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, then 1 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. So that's interesting, though, that jump between infinity and finitude is that you can't find a mistake in it, because it's not a logical thing. It's not a logical progression. So you could find a mistake. 1 + 1 = 2. If you could give a wrong answer. You could say 3, but you can't find a mistake between infinite and finite. It's it's a total miracle. So that's seeing.
It's just little holes in cards.
That's seeing the miracles. The leap between the infinity and the finitude is a miracle. So that's the wonders of creation. It's a miracle. Creation is a miracle. Okay, now we figured everything out. Now we can go.
Now we figured everything out.
Okay, no,
we can't find the mistake, though.
No, but we can find the miracle.
Yes, we can find, and that's the miracle.
Yes, we could see the
mistake was hashgacha pratis.
Right. So everything that seems to be a mistake doesn't make sense. Gotta look for the miracle in it. Okay. Okay. Yay. So seeing Hashem in the world, which is infinity, infinitude, is a miracle. Okay. Creation is a miracle. Everything And the more we see Hashem in the world, the more miracles we can see. Okay? Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Chavarachel. Okay. So now we go on to paragraph 7. Yes? Okay.
Oh, we did 6 now, huh?
Yeah, we just did finish 6.
Got it.
Oh, we did even 7 a little bit. Yeah, we did 7 also.
We did all of 7?
We did all 7, yeah.
Okay. So paragraph 8. Okay. Get my bearings.
Okay. Footnote 58. He says, similar when you make a dwelling place for a person, a man, there's different divisions in different parts of the home. It has 6 directions, right? 4 walls, a floor, and a roof. Through this, you could see the essence of the dwelling. You have to have the parameters of the 6 directions in order to say this is the home. Okay, the essence of the dwelling, which is the point beyond the vision, is revealed through the fact that there's now 6 directions, 4 walls, the top and a bottom. So, and the essence of the dwelling is connected to the essence of the person living there. Kol mishen lo bayit, meaning a person who doesn't have this, doesn't have a home, doesn't have this 4 walls at top and bottom, is not an Adam, he's not a man. His essence is not revealed. He's considered in the Gemara like he can't be human unless he has he's not revealed as a human being if he doesn't have a home. Okay, so the home gives a definition for this person. So similar to that, we have this, like Hashem is revealed in the details of his home, which is the world. So Hashem's essence can be revealed in this parameter of the world. Okay, so that's footnote 58. That was from paragraph 7. Now we're going to paragraph 8. This idea, so this idea that the world could have was and is created also with 1 mimer and with 10 mimers, by 10 statements. So Hashem above the world, Hashem within the world, is also emphasized when we prepare for the Matan Torah, the beginning of the Torah, which we said reveals Hashem in the world, right? And reveals Hashem above the world and Hashem within the world. So this, when Torah is given Matan Torah, and we're getting ready for Matan Torah right now when we're counting the Omer. So he's explaining, Matan Torah, when did we get the Torah? When we were able to reveal Hashem like this, is first we had to go out of Egypt. What happened in Egypt? Hashem himself revealed himself in his total glory, and he redeemed us in order for us to be able to serve him, right? As it says, Hashem took us out of Egypt to serve him on this mountain. באופן שעליון מעליונותו שאז אינו עליונה מיתתו ותחתונה לא מתחתונו שאז אינו תחתונה מיתתו אלא שעליון כמו שהוא בעליונותו מתחבר עם התחתון כמו שהוא בתחתונו וזה נעשה על ידי הכנה לשפת האומר. So this is also another axiom that the Rebbe is bringing, very important. When we say Hashem gave the Torah in order to draw down the higher spiritual realms into the physical realm, right? And to make the physical be able to be uplifted and be spiritual, right? Connect and godly and holy. That was what Torah did. It combined above the world, within the world, holiness within the physicality. So this connection, this chibur, this uniting of these two forces, Hashem above the world, within the world, is truth. It's amiti. It's really happening. And it's not happening in a way that the higher realm of Hashem is less, okay, and it's not high anymore. It is still high, and it's not that the lower becomes really transformed and different than it's still down here below. It's elevated, it's holier, but it's still down here. It's still physical. It's not disappearing into nothingness, right? The physicality is still physical. Okay, so it's really truly physical, and God is truly godly. But what's going on is that the higher levels of godliness revealed as they are in the higher level of godliness are connected, mitchaber, united, and one, become connected with the physical, as it is physical. It's still a car. It's still a piece of food. It's still a physical item. But it's still elevated. It still has godliness revealed in it. So for this to happen, we have to prepare for it through Sfiras HaOmer, which is the counting of the Omer, which is what we're doing. What are we doing to prepare for this ability to unite the two, right? The two, this contradiction, these opposites. How do we prepare it? This content of Sfat Mechamim Machat Shabbat, Sheva Shabbatot Tzlisbu Chamishim Yom. We count 7 weeks and then we count 50 days. And what's this on our service of man? בעבודת האדם ממחת השבת, מחת היום טוב. מתחילה עבודה בהמשכת גילוי עצמות בכבודו בעצמו, שלמעלה מחדקות בעולם, המאמר אחד שיעיר ושפת המחם, שם ספיר בריאות, אור יגלו בביטי חלקות המידות, 7 שבתות זין פעמים. What are we doing in Sfiras HaOmer? We're coming up right after Yom Tov, and we're taking Hashem, which is above and above the world. Hashem created the world with one statement, that it should be revealed and shining as Svartam. Svartam is counting, it's Misham Sapir, to bring a shining behiyut, a clarity, a revelation. We're trying to see Hashem in the Pirtei Itchalkut HaMidot, in the little facets of our emotional system. When we get upset, when we get afraid, when we get angry, when we get all these, all these midos, all these emotions, which parallel to the 7 weeks, and we look at all the details of our humanness, and we try to bring light and revelation of Hashem into our reality, okay? To elevate our physical human reality to a higher level of consciousness, okay? And this we do during the 7 weeks of Sfiras HaOmer, where we take a look at all our little nuances of us human beings in this world that was created with 10 statements, until we have this revelation of Tispur, of counting. Tispur means also to reveal. Melashon Gilui. Tispur is sapir, a revelation of light. Then we can permeate it within us. The revelation of the 50. What's the 50? It's above the 49 gates, which is connected to the world. We have this 50th gate, which is Hashem beyond the world. That Hashem is, above. All these little details are within Hashem's oneness. Not just these lower levels of consciousness that are connected to the 49 gates, and they're part of it. We also can sense that Hashem is higher. He's above these 49 aspects, 49 ways and pathways that we've been working on. Hashem is really above it all. And we can have this energy of Hashem beyond the world, which is revealed in the 50th day. And then the last paragraph that I'll read here, the Rebbe says, let's add, we need to add, which is Machat HaShabbat Kipshuto, Sima B'Yom HaShabbat, Shavuot Mitchilot B'Echad B'Shabbat, Mesunot B'Shabbat, Tmimot K'mei Bereshit, מודגש איתה שהגילוי בכבודו בעצמו חודר בגדרי העולם, משבתות תמימות כמי בראשית. That year, we started counting Sfiras HaOmer on Motzei Shabbos. So each week was a fully whole week from Sunday to Shabbos. So the Rebbe says that also revealed this aspect of Hashem's oneness more wholly and more completely, that Hashem himself is revealed in the details of the world, that it even came out to be exactly full whole weeks from Sunday through Shabbos. Each week was full and complete. So that's 8. And I think I'm going to stop here. These are a lot of high ideas to meditate on, try to relate to Hashem above and beyond the world, but yet also we're still within the world and connected to all the little details. So each one has an advantage, the advantage of being more detached, and then there's the idea of being more finding Hashem in the details. Both are important, and both are necessary to actually fully reveal Hashem down here in this world with all his glory in the parameters of the definitions of the time and space and details of this world. So does anybody want to say something? Ask something. what I'd like to say is that that's why it's important also to have a Rav and a Mashpia, because we don't always see, we can't always see ourselves removed from our situation, and we sometimes we can get caught up in little details and not see the whole picture. So we need somebody from outside to explain or show us what's going on here. That's why we need friends, we need mashpiyim, we need a Rav, we can't just see everything necessarily always on all levels from all facets with a bird's eye view. That's one. And also, sometimes we might just say this is too much, and I just want to connect to Hashem spiritually and not have to deal with the details and just escape it. So that's also not good. Hashem wants to be revealed in every little detail. So that's why we also need, I believe, that's why the Rebbe says, need a mashpia to direct you, how to also not just run away from it all and detach, but also be immersed in all the details of our life, but in a way that we're not sucked into it in a negative way, but we're revealing Hashem's oneness in everything. So it's a big job, tall order, but that's what we're doing now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what happened today. The message that Alyssa gave was to be careful at every step.
To be careful at every step.
And be aware at every step.
Yeah.
And to have a mashpia. And so Alyssa was a mashpia today. And she said, be aware at every step. And that's what we need to be. Every step, every detail. That's what you're saying too. Don't escape the details.
Yeah.
It's a hard job. It's a good job. It's a valuable job. It's a holy job.
It's a holy job. Yes. Yes, don't ignore. It's not good to ignore or, right? We have to take care of the details, take care of our body, take care of our home, take care of our community and our situation. And yeah, it's like yesterday I was trying to make a banner for the Lag Bomer thing. And after we did this beautiful thing with Rachel Yudkov, I had her do the graphics, and she's a genius and she's an artist, and she's like, wow, we got this wow thing going. And then I realized the detail. I forgot that when we do the banner, when we're going to put it onto this, whatever, the stand, it's going to have these little 6 holes into it in order to attach the little, to attach the banner to the stand. So, right, it can hang and be, it's going to be 6 foot by 3 foot. So I forgot to tell her that we have to make sure that, so she had to go back, I had to apologize. She had to, just make sure that there's no writing in those little 6, where the 6 holes are going to take place. So that's, I was thinking, okay, we could be very creative and very, create an amazing tapestry, an amazing, beautiful, beautiful thing that I was actually so happy because I took a new picture with my new phone of the letters of the Torah that my husband's writing, and you could see the letters beautifully. And the quality of the phone was so good, and the quality of her computer was so good that I'm pretty sure that when it's blown up on 6 by 3, you're going to be able to see the letters magnified, but still in perfect shape, God willing.
Wow.
So, which I'm like blown away. It's like amazing that we can do this nowadays, that people can see the letters of the Torah, but not just see them as they are so small, they could see it blown up and they can see it perfectly. Hopefully soon it's going to be blown up even bigger, God willing, one day. But now I was a little hopeful. Yeah. So we're getting, but at the same time, we have to remember the details of the little.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
The little zeros that you missed.
Thank you, Yehudit, thank you so much. I think this is so profound for me, this sequel, because I always had trouble with the details of trying to transfer the details from this lofty place of Hashem, that he's so high up, and then we have to be down here in this physical world doing these details of life. I mean, I function very well, but the thing is, I always had trouble trying to figure, well, these details are sort of meaningless. I mean, they're just physical. And they're a little bit irrelevant, which they're not. I mean, we need them to get through life. But This is so profound. I mean, I've heard anyway, I made peace with it through the years, but to hear the Rebbe Sikha that he's addressing this, that basically there's holiness in these details. There's holiness in these details. It's Hashem holiness. Hashem holiness comes through some of these mundane things in our lives.
Yes. Yes, Karen, you're not muted.
Very profound. I mean, it puts everything in a whole different perspective. Like, I take a lot of pictures that I see, you know, with my camera, and I send it on to family members, and they get a kick out of it. And you know, it's like really profound stuff that maybe could have been misconstrued as trivial.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, it made
you're reminding me to say something.
To hear the Rebbe's words.
Yes. You triggered something in me with what you just said. Karen, did you want to say something? I think you're not muted. Yeah, she's muted herself. Okay. So yes, so you said something very, I noticed you said that you used to see, we need the details for survival. So I think and then you came to it that there's holiness in it. So
right.
I want to emphasize, yes, I used to have that attitude. What can we do? We have to take care of the details. That's like survival. But really the Rebbe brought out the physicality is so important, and it's holy, and we need to find Hashem in it. So that's the idea of like seeing Hashem in the details.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just as important as seeing Hashem as one. It's not less than. Each one has its advantage, is what the Rebbe is saying. Seeing Hashem as one has the advantage of seeing Hashem beyond the world, but being able to see Hashem within the details has the advantage of seeing Hashem as He created the details.
Absolutely right. And if we could somehow convey this to the children growing up, maybe they would have a better understanding, and maybe there would be less problems in the details, like kids that are mean to each other when they go to usually they're good kids, but you know, kids are kids, and they let their whatever it is, what was I'm looking for, I can't think of the psychological term, but like maybe there would be more of a deep understanding, which I'm sure they get from Hasidus when they start learning. But you know, kids can understand those concepts, that there's holiness in details, and they don't regard that because it comes with maturity. But maybe if they learn that, it would help everybody, help them in school, you know, their relations with other kids and the teachers and everybody. It's a very important concept.
Right, everything matters.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a good way to think about that. And I'm not a parent, so I'm not talking from experience. But I would say that if parents were to ask kids to do things in a different way, like do this and do that, it seems more like a command. Maybe if they learned that details are Hashem from birth, you know.
Absolutely. I've seen like parents come home, let's say from shul, and then they get upset with their kid. Their kid is acting, you know, maybe getting obnoxious, or they're just being a kid. And then I hear the parent, I don't know, whatever, I'm just thinking random times that they just start yelling they just went to shul, and they're a very good Jew, and for the most part, and they don't understand, like it's just the whole total picture. You don't separate out. I mean, we're just human beings, so I know it's difficult, but what was the sense of praying and going to shul for a couple of hours and praying if you're just gonna let your kid have it? I mean, they're not abusive, they're good parents, but they just got upset, you know, and they lost it. It just doesn't, to me, well, now I'm older, so I have more of an understanding, so I can't really judge the maybe younger parents. And you know, I was a younger parent once, but yeah, it's a total picture. And if we could understand what the secret of the Rebbe is, that Hashem is also in the details, and that's how we behave and react and all the stuff that we're counting for us. So it would maybe just become a better world while we're waiting for Mashiach, right? But it's very complicated, and you know,
it's sort of while we're bringing Mashiach, while we're bringing Mashiach. That's kind of a way, is to put put things together, like make things relevant to each other. It'd be like put the zeros and ones in the right place, so that
Yes.
the infinity and the details together. I mean, that's a tall order, and it's all theory. But I think that if we communicate in a different way, and I'm going to try and practice this today, then I think that people will see that details aren't like commandments. They're Hashem's world, and it's being shown to us.
Yes, in this physical realm, in our physical dealings every day, our activities, and yeah, Hashem is in there. But yeah, it's very profound. But on the other hand, we have to be grounded. See, it's like a tall order, because we still have to maintain that groundedness. We can't just go, every minute to look at every single meaning of why a leaf fell down from the tree in front of you. I mean, that would be
I don't think we have to know why. We just know that it's Hashem. We don't have to know why.
Oh yeah, right. Good.
Yeah. If you drive your car, you don't need to know everything about your engine in order to get in your car.
Right. That makes sense.
I think.
Just accept that it's Hashem and let it go and move on.
It's just, yeah, it's Hashem.
This mashal that I just read today, I don't remember reading it or hearing it before. It's affecting me, because what he's saying is, when you have a home, dwelling home, so you have 4 walls, you have a roof and a floor, right? That defines the ability to have your space. That defines the human as Adam. Adam is defined when he has a home, like he's existing in his home. So the existence of Hashem in the world is defined and revealed by us creating and focusing on making a home, meaning focusing on the details, the limitations of time and space. So when we're focusing on those details, we are actually making it possible to reveal Hashem's essence, that Hashem has a revelation, a home in this world. So it's like Hashem wouldn't be revealed here without us focusing on the details.
Right, because that's where he is. He's everywhere.
Right. We wouldn't.
He's not everywhere.
If we didn't notice the detail, if we didn't create these 6, this perimeter of this home, this 4 walls, or this box, or this entity, if we didn't take notice of this detail, right, this creation, we wouldn't reveal Hashem in it. Hashem's essence would not be revealed here. We wouldn't have a dwelling in this world, in this space.
Maybe that's why a sukkah doesn't have a full roof. It has to have an opening to the stars. It's not a real roof.
Because why?
Because we need to be connected with Hashem. It's not a home. That's not a home. A sukkah.
Oh, it's not a home. So there's
and the skach is the clouds of glory, and that's what our roof is on that, which isn't a roof. It goes all the way to Hashem. I mean, I don't know what that means. It just made me think of that.
It's temporary. Sukkah is only temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Hashem, we have to have all the details.
The home, the details with the roof, a solid roof, solid wall.
Everything, all the details.
But another profound thing is all these homeless people in the world, unfortunately, they don't have a home. So they're spiritually, not only psychologically, but they're spiritually lacking. There's a void because they do not have them. They don't want a home, or I don't know. I don't know the inside story of these homeless populations, but all these people that sleep out on the street and they don't have a home, spiritually, obviously, there's something missing that maybe they could somehow be helped. It could be started helping them to build structures or to get them in dwelling places that would help them spiritually.
Yeah, I think the world is on to that right now. Not fast enough, of course. How could it be fast enough? There are so many. But the world is working on that. I've heard it often, especially in Chicago.
There is a desire, I think, from a desire in somebody's. A person could have a desire, I know, to not want to have to deal with the details, not want to have to deal with the home, not want to have to deal with that responsibility,
right,
and and want other people to take care of us.
Right.
Right. Some people can have that desire. I'm not saying everybody does, but maybe.
Right. I mean, that's what they basically.
So they don't want to have to necessarily. It takes an effort to create a home. It takes an effort to take care of it. It takes an effort to be responsible for it and pay for it and all that. And they don't necessarily want to have that burden. So
I just want to give a blessing that we all notice that so much money is wasted on war and on tunnels and all this, that everyone in the world could probably have had homes without worrying about the details. If,
wow, listen, wow.
Yeah, if billions and billions and billions are being wasted on war, but everyone can have a home.
yes.
And think of the details that are wasted, our time is wasted on. When the time is wasted on detail, those tunnels are really detailed.
Yeah, like what a waste! What a waste of, like even the amount of people. Like each of them could be a billionaire with the amount of money they spent on these things.
Really?
A lot of them are, just not the other people. There are billionaires who orchestrate the tunnels, and they sit on their billions.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
It is.
So we need to.
So what is Hashem doing? What's our message in that? Because that's not Hashem.
Is to utilize our resources
money.
to Hashem, Kedusha,
Amen.
which builds and protects and provides and.
It's Hashem's money too. It's Hashem's money that's being wasted.
Yes. God willing, this I guess just shows all the potential in the world to be a very wealthy.
Wow, huge. We have oil wells.
We have
potential
so
of
much
raw oil
resources to create billions for so many people. That that's what's going to happen now once the evil is eradicated from this world.
Yehudit, I need to ask a question. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry if I interrupted somebody in this, but I so want to get this question. How do kids or people be able to write a letter in the Sefer Torah when every letter has to be perfect? And if it isn't, then the Torah is...
if they would just hold the hand of the sofer, that's kind of like...
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, they don't get to actually write. You can't write when you're under bar mitzvah. And a woman also not supposed to write. She can make a messenger. She can make the sofer the messenger. So like, let's say if somebody wants to appoint Avram David to write for them a letter, they say, you're my messenger to write the letter for me. So it's like
what if it's an adult man? Can he write it?
Yeah, so sometimes some people do. If there's time and the person is willing to take that. We had a Holocaust survivor, 90-something years old, not in my husband's Torah. It was a Torah that was being donated to Long Beach, and the family asked my husband just to do the last few letters at their whatever ceremony. They needed a sofer. The Torah had been commissioned in Israel, but they needed a sofer here. So we came to the party. We got to go to that Four Seasons Hotel and see Ilan Gold and Avram Fried and all the people that were invited. It was a whole fundraiser. So there was a Holocaust survivor there, famous, I forgot his name, I have to remember. And my husband asked him, do you want to write in the letter, or do you want me to write? He says, I want to write it. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I zeroed in with the video. He did the perfect line. He was 90,
wow.
I don't know how, it might be 96 or something, like he's an older man. He did a perfect line.
Hashem guided his hand.
Yeah. I was like, how did I let him do that?
Wow.
You can always, fix it if you have to. But anyway, that was a wow, and I have it on video.
Oh, that made his life.
He's like,
it should continue to be long.
No wheelchair, nothing, no cane, nothing. He just walks like he's like
wow.
a young man. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, let's do the psukim. Ta'atziva lanu Moshe Moshe Kehilas Yaakov Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad B'chol dor v'dor chayav adam lahosas atzmo v'hilu hu yatsa hayom mimitzrayim Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek l'olam haba shenema v'amech kulam tzadikim v'olam yoshu aretz נצר מתי מעשה ידי להספר, כי קרוב אליך דבר מאוד, בפיך ובלבבך לעשות, והנה השם ניצב עליו מלוא כל הארץ כבודו ומביט עליו, ובכן חלץ בלב עם עובדו כראוי. ויספר אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך ובביסך ובלכתך ובדרך ובשכתך ובקמך, יגעתי ולא מצאתי, אל תאמין, לא יגעתי ומצאתי, אל תאמין, יגעתי ומצאתי, תאמין, ואהבת לרעך כמוך. רבי עקיבא אומר, זה כלל גדול בתורה, וזה כל האדם הסכליס ביותר, ואז כל העולמות העליונים ותחתונים, ואז לא יתברך דיר זו ותחתונים. ישמח ישראל ועושה פה שכל מישהו מזרע ישראל אשר לא ישמח בשמחת השם, אשר שש ושמח ותרסו בתחתונים, מחיה בינינו ובינינו ורבינו, מלך המשיח לעולם ועד. Okay, so these psukim talk about Hashem revealing in this physical world, the tachtonim down here below. And I'm going to turn off the recording so we can do a little dance and song and thank Hashem for the miracles. And I want more miracles.